Welcome back everyone to my AFLW fantasy round review series. This week, round 7 I think? I actually can't remember, but you guys might be able to hear I'm a bit sick, so just, I guess, forgive me for the voice, but yeah, this week wasn't a very good week for this team. This year we scored 1201 and had a round rank of 862, which was pretty disappointing. We had some pretty bad performance. I just realized I haven't reversed the trades. There we go. Okay, so yeah, this is the team I took into the round just gone. What were my trades? I traded in Ruby Sargent Wilson, traded in Gilroy, and I traded in Boag, and of course, all of them didn't meet my expectations. So I thought Sergeant Wilson was pretty forgivable since it was wet and she played on the wing. Also played forward, so a combination of the weather and the role not being friendly for her. So I guess that's forgivable, but 26 is just really, really tough to cop. Boag, I guess it's not that bad because she's on my bench, but I would have liked some more cash generation since, as you can see, none of my other four are making any cash, so it's looking pretty dire. And Gilroy, she scored 80 plus for the last 3 weeks, and when I bring her in, she scores 48. She had terrible first half. It was 13 points. So I'm actually lucky that she made it to 48. I think she just got pretty unlucky with some of the some parts of the game. Like she'd be near the ball, but she just couldn't get to it, and then make tackles. But then the handballs hit opponents. So I guess it was just unlucky. Pretty typical since she was my trade-in, so should have expected that. But yeah, it was the usual suspects that did well for me. We had Randall, Marinoff, finally got the captain right, which is good. Hatchard, McKay and Garner, they all did really well. Roberts, I'm pretty happy with as well. McCarthy's been a terrible trade-in. I should have traded him in Malloy or I don't know. It just seems like I keep getting my trade-ins wrong, um, with the premiums, but whatever. Wales has also been good. Doric had a terrible game. Dropped a ton in price. It's just this week I was planning on getting Bowers, and literally everything went wrong. Like I needed some luck to be able to afford her. But she ended up rising by a ton of money. Let's just see how much she rose. Yeah, so she rose 11,500. Like, oh my god. And then Doric lost 5k, and then Barber made zero money. So I thought Bowers would at least hold price, or at most hold price. I thought Doric would make me 3k, and then I thought Barber would have made I don't think her making any cash wasn't very relevant, but yeah, I thought that was gonna happen, so I would have been able to afford Bowers, but instead Bowers makes 11k and Doric loses 5k. So it's just it just seems like everything went wrong this week. And Garnett, to top it off, scored 29 as well, because she played a tough side that actually knew how to lock her down, prevent her from marking the ball. So yeah, but she has Hawthorn next week. Hopefully she'll be fine for that. If she's not, then I'm trading her out. She's just been such a bad trade, and as soon as I traded her in, she got moved to the forward line. I actually just can't be scripted. Every single time I trade someone in, something happens to them that makes them score badly. It's so frustrating. And the people I trade out, they come good. So there's not really much I can do about that. Yeah, and obviously Ewing's I traded her in after she scored 90s and 100s, and she scores 40, 30, 20. It's yeah. So ultimately, that's pushed me out of the top 100 again. Oh yeah, Schleich has also been terrible. Like she's been outscored by Carney every single week since I traded Carney to her. That's probably my fault for trading a premium, but like you would have expected better. It's just yeah. Sheeran was good. Happy with that. But that's probably it for my team, to be honest. So you guys probably saw my trades before. So um, instead of bringing in Bowers now, I'm looking at bringing in a different premium midfielder. Um, yeah, so I'm looking at Press She has Sydney this week, and then she has Adelaide, I think, who Bowers scored 164 against, and then she has Hawthorn, I think. Let me just check her fixtures actually. We'll just look here, fixtures. Okay, so she has Sydney, and then she has Melbourne, and then she has Port Adelaide. So three clubs that aren't too hard to score against. I think Melbourne's probably the hardest out of all of them, but they're not like super tough. So um, I think she's a good option. So I'll be bringing her in for Doric before she drops any more money. And then I'll be downgrading Barber as well and Whelan as well. So get rid of these two. I'll bring in two basement rookies, and Doric will go to Prasparkas. Although, yeah, Georgie might also be a good option, but yeah. I also wanted to bring in Amy McDonald, but I don't think she's a really consistent, but like I just don't see the ceiling in her. And I think Prasparkas, she's in really good form, so I think she'll be pretty good to bring in. I think Anderson is also doing well. I could jump on her actually, but yeah. Purcell. I'm actually. Oh, I'm actually gonna go into player stats and I'll have a look at the 3 round averages for midfielders. The 3 round average. Obviously, Bowers at the top. Yeah, so Prasparkas has been in good form. She's averaging 107. I think she's gone over 100 for all of her past 3 games. McDonald, yeah, she's up there as well. Georgie Prasparkas. I'm not. It's actually pretty tough. Like, I want to get this pick right, but like, I feel like saving the 7K. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get Prasparkas. She has good fixtures. I think Geelong doesn't have very good fixtures. I'll have a look at it right now. Oh yeah, so it's round 8 by the way, so I got that wrong. I thought it was round 6. But yeah, Geelong has Adelaide, which is pretty tough, even though Bowers. Wait. Oh, no. Geelong has West Coast, which is pretty easy. And then they have Adelaide, and then they have Sydney. So they have really good fixtures as well, actually. So, but I think I'm gonna go for the Sydney matchup this week. So Prasparkas. I'll just redo this. So Doric will go out, and Whelan, Barber. Oh, my bad. Yep. Okay, so Prasparkas, where is she? Here. Get her in. And then we'll just bring in some random basements before the team announcement. So Wortlep, and then we'll have Postlewaite. I don't know. And then we'll confirm this. And so yeah, this is what my team will look like. Obviously, with the exception of the 2 bench players I just brought in, they'll change depending on debutants. But like on paper, my team looks pretty decent. I think I'm gonna back in Ruby again. Because she's again. Oh, actually, I think Bombers might be hard to score against. Who does Port Adelaide have? North Melbourne. I'll have to check like the weather and stuff. But yeah, the only change that could happen to this is Boag on for Sergeant Wilson. But apart from that, this is my team. Next week I'll probably look at upgrading Smith, or one of my failing premiums. Like if Ewings goes terrible again, then she'll go. Actually, she might not even be worth enough to like upgrade to someone. So I might just have to hold her for the rest of the season. Yeah, but like my bench is a really big problem. I don't have anyone to downgrade, so I think you'll. I only have what 2 weeks left, so it's gonna be tough, but try and navigate away. I think it's just all gonna be sideways from now on. If any of these like Ewings, Garnett, Gilroy, Sheeran, if any of those go badly, or Smith, then I'll probably go one of them down and then the other up. So I'm gonna have to start fielding rookies. But yeah, I don't know about that. Like the rookies are really unreliable, so I have to think about that. But yeah, with other trade options, I think Carney's like really good to bring in. I should have brought in Peterson when I was bringing in Garnett. Like that's such a big mistake I made. I really wanted Peterson, but then I convinced myself to go to Garnett because she was supposed to be consistent, but she's turned out to be the most inconsistent out of all of them. And while Peterson I thought um, was gonna be a one-hit wonder, she's ended up being the more consistent one. So that's my mistake. But yeah, Carney, Peterson, both really good options for premium defenders. Um, with the mid prices, I don't think going for a mid-price defender is the way to go right now. I think there's Jenna Richardson. She's a pretty decent scorer, so I think if you I think go to her. Um, yeah, yeah. So wait, where is she? Richardson. Let me just try to find her. Jenna Richardson from Hawthorn. Yeah, so here 36K. She's been scoring okay, especially for a rookie. So yeah, I don't think it's yeah. I think it's too late in the season to be going for mid-priced defenders since the premiums are so affordable. So yeah, it's either go to Richardson or go to Carney or Peterson. I think. Um, yeah, obviously midfield targets. Bowers, if you can afford her, lock her in. Unfortunately, I can't, so I'm gonna have to deal with watching her score 150 again. Um, yeah, Prasparkas I think is a good option as well, along with Amy McDonald. McDonald is just so consistent, and Prasparkas, she was doing really well before she got suspended, and she's relatively cheap, so yeah, and also Anderson as well. Both of them are pretty good underpriced premiums. And I think that's about it for mid options. If you wanna mid-priced midfielder, I think Vesely's pretty good. She's been basically the focal point of the St Kilda midfield recently, so she's definitely a good option. I wish I held Fleming. Like she's been doing so well ever since I traded her, and she made so much cash as well. As long as Stewart, like the two best performing midfielders, I already traded them out. Like it's just really annoying. I went too early on them. But yeah, I'll look at the rucks. Obviously Moody is just still a level above everyone else. Um, yeah, so she is the target. If you have Wales, I think you can hold her for the rest of the season. Otherwise, I think I don't think anyone else is worth going for. I think yeah, Edmonds is pretty decent, but I don't think there's much upside in her anymore. Um, yeah, so those are probably the ruck options, and then with the forwards, Malloy has been doing pretty well as of late, so we'll just look at the fixtures. I think Um, she has Freo and then North Melbourne and then Brisbane. So that's really tough. So actually, maybe don't bring her in. Harris has been doing well past 3 games as well. Actually, we'll just go and play stats and look at forwards here. So, yeah, if you don't have Garner or Mackay, you should look at bringing them in if you can afford them. Um, look at this 3 round average. Yeah, so Harris, she's been averaging 75 over the last 3 games. And her fixtures, I'm pretty sure, get better. So, Gold Coast, she should do well against them. She scored a couple of goals, and then Essendon, and then West Coast. So she has some really nice matchups. So if you're looking for a forward, I think she's a good option. I think Hanks is a bit expensive for her output, so might avoid her. Tani Evans has been so good. She's taking kickouts for the Giants, so and she's really unique as well. I think 0.9. She's made 30k this season, so that's someone everyone missed. Fitzgerald was looking like a good option, but she really didn't score well on the weekend, so probably cool on her. But like, I don't think there are many other options, to be honest. Yeah, so I think Evans, if you need a mid-priced forward, Evans is the one to get, I think. But apart from that, like, no one is showing consistent scoring. So yeah, I don't think you can trust mid-prices much in AFLW fantasy. Especially like late in the season when everyone's like, there's a clear picture as to how everyone is performing. So yeah, that's probably it for all the trade options. I think now is the time to just be sidewaysing. If you have money on the bench, obviously upgrade on your field, but I think I've seen a lot of teams and most people are suffering from a dead bench. So yeah, it's all about sidewaysing to the better performing players and looking at fixtures. Fixtures play a huge part in this. So yeah, and then obviously Bowers, she's number one priority should be for everyone. But I can't afford her, so yeah, I have to avoid her. But I think Chris Parkis is not a bad option as well. So yeah, that will do it for this week. Good luck with your trades. Good luck with your scores. Hope your players don't spot it up like mine have recently. And I'll see you guys all next week.